Hey, I'm Usman, and welcome to Usyaps. This is kind of like a collection of different things that I most likely have told many of my close friends about, and I feel like putting it into a form where people can access and see it about whatever random niche interest or hobby that I'm into currently in the moment. I notice whenever I get really into something, I tend to get really passionate, and I got a lot to say. I got a lot of yap. So I figured I might as well start putting it somewhere, right? Um, Today's topic: Arc Raiders. So I've been playing a lot of Arc Raiders lately. It's kind of like taken me a little off guard. Like, it's definitely a game that I think tackles a few different kinds of itches that I don't think a lot of games have been able to tackle for me, at least in this way. I think Arc Raiders fundamentally, and this is my hot take, it's like the evolution of the looter shooter genre. And I know it's not the first extraction shooter or anything like that, but I think because of the way that they did it, and I think the combination of all of the different systems that they have inside of it to make it accessible, while also still having some of those hardcore elements. In other words, the kind of like overall package with all of the different intricacies and features is what makes this game as popular, as beloved as it is today. Now, my take currently is that it's a lot of disparate genres that actually, at least in this context, they seem to go together pretty well. Like, for example, it takes the looter shooter genre, as you can probably imagine. You go in, you have to get loot. Then, just to describe the game, just in case anyone hasn't played it yet, Arc Raiders is an extraction shooter, which is essentially you start off with X amount of loot or a free loadout or something like that. You go into a map, and there's a few different maps. Your whole goal is either to do some kind of objective, you get like a quest or something like that, or to go get loot of some kind. And your goal is to go do that, and then go to like an elevator or a place where you can leave to get out, like a metro station, so on and so forth. And you have to like call it in and wait. But along the way, there's a variety of different things that could kill you, or could stifle you, could draw attention to you. And it's essentially like, for example, there's a variety of different like PvE enemies. And at least in Arc Raiders, they're terrifying. I would put them under the guise of like Dark Souls level enemies. Like, they're all really unique. They all have different ticks. Even like the smallest, lowest tier of enemy, like for example, they have enemies based off of like animals and insects. So like there's like wasps, they're like little flying drones, but those, I've died to a wasp. And like I know many people who have as well. Like, it's kind of wild to think about that. But then they have everything up to like a bastion, or like a giant matriarch, which is like a giant spider looking thing. Like, it's like the size of like a building. So there's kind of like quite a variety of different types of enemies, and each one of them kind of have their own intricacies, weaknesses. But in other words, like things you have to learn to work with and navigate, but also could be completely deadly. And in addition to those PvE enemies, there's people. And that's where Arc Raider gets fascinating, gets interesting. One, because it's really popular right now, so you have kind of a wide diversity of people. But in addition to that, you have proximity chat, which I think is one of the coolest, most interesting aspects of a lot of extraction shooters in general, but Arc Raiders handles it in a really fun way. You can, the way that they've designed the proximity chat too, by the way, and we'll get into sound design too, but like, they made it so like you could hear them echoing off the room, and like, yeah, so you can hear other people talk. You can choose to either talk to your teammates or like out loud to other people. And it just brings about these unique interactions. Like, a lot of times I'll be going solo and I'll just want to be friendly with people. So I'll be like, yo, dude, I'm good, dog. Like, I'm not trying to fight. Like, we're all good. And then like, it adds this like cool layer of like social interaction. Cause like, technically, like, I'll be like walking alongside another person and we're cool. Like, we said we were cool type shit. And at any point, that person could like grab his hand cannon and start glocking me in the face. You know what I mean? Like, and that adds like a cool like layer of like trust, but also like looking over your shoulder, like, do I trust this guy? Like, I don't know. Like, and it adds this, like, you never really know. You know, I've gotten screwed over by people randomly, but I've also had like 6 random wholesome dudes, and we just like beat this giant enemy, like this arc enemy and stuff like that. So it adds like a cool concoction. And part of why I say Arc Raiders adds a very unique spin on it is because the enemies are so difficult that like you kind of want to work together, especially when you're in solos, to even take them down, to even survive, to even get through, to get out. So going back to kind of like the variety of genres that I think that this game tackles. So I think it tackles looter shooter by getting loot, getting out, and carrying on that loot. I also think that it really tackles like survival, because you're kind of going in, you could go in kind of stealth, you can go in with kind of like all right, I'm gonna try to like be as like nonchalant as possible on this run, you know, like not make a single sound, get to where I gotta go, get the fuck out, like literally like just be like the most like that. Or you could go chaos mode and like I'm gonna try to fight everyone I see, like, you know, you can kind of go in with a few different ways, but I think that adds like scarcity, it adds value. And I think by having the ability to die with your loot, it adds this level of realness, like true real gritty realness to a game that's like that's why I think it can really fall under that evolution of a looter shooter, because now your loot not only has value in your inventory, but it has value the same way as like if you were to buy something today and bring it out into the wild, and there's a chance at any moment anything that you own on your persons you could lose, you know, like you could literally lose, like it could be gone. And I think that aspect of it adds a certain tangibility to the looter shooter genre that I find particularly fascinating from like a game design or psychological social experiment perspective. And in addition to that, it's kind of also feels a little bit like a roguelike, because sometimes you'll get like a cool gun and, you know, you'll start like playing with it a bunch, and, you know, like at any point you could potentially die with it, but it's almost like, how long can I make it? How long can I make it with this build, with this setup, you know? And like you could just keep going until eventually one day you run into something wrong or and then it's gone. But you had your time with it, you had your space with it, so it's like you kind of live in the experience the same way as like a roguelike run, you know, which I think is, I don't know, it's kind of fascinating. So I think, and then yeah, in addition to that, I also think that it kind of captures that feeling of like a battle royale, like when you're inside of like the last zone, you know, and like you know, you're like trying to like make sure you're gonna survive and make it to the end, and like, you know, there's this like tension to it. So I think it adds a variety of, I guess, different ideologies, different game design motifs, but the way it puts it together is in such a unique facet. And I think there's a few reasons why Arc Raider, at least for me, I think stuck out to me more than any other extraction shooter. I think Escape from Tarkov and a variety of other extraction shooters are fascinating and also like really good games. I think Arc Raiders, because it's crossplay, because it's accessible and easy to get into, and in addition, because I think it's unique. I think it has a really unique art style. They're going for kind of like a dystopian, post-apocalyptic cassette futurism. It's like if the 1980s went like far into the future of like Blade Runner-esque kind of vibes and technology, but then that society and civilization died off, or like had some calamity happen to it, and then now you have this like analog hyper futuristic aesthetic kind of like juxtaposing one another in like a post-apocalyptic setting. It adds just like a very unique take on the sci-fi genre, which as a sci-fi nerd myself, I actually, you know, that's kind of cool. Like it's refreshing, to say the least. And that's what's been kind of nice about it. And then the fact it's a third-person shooter, because like a lot of extraction shooters are first-person, which is tight, which is sick. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a first-person girly all day, every day. But like, I think it adds a little bit of uniqueness to it, you know, because you could do a little bit different. You could play a little bit differently as a third-person shooter, and it feels and looks good to do that. And that kind of brings me to the next topic, which is sound design. Man, does this game sound so good! Like, it's crazy. Like, it literally sounds like you could get lost in this world. Like every little, like you're walking around, you hear like bugs, like zooming around you. You hear someone shooting off in the distance, and it's echoing, like bellowing off in the distance, like it's literally there. And the art style mixed in with like really truly immersive dynamic sound design mixed in with cool interesting character like designs and also progression and like feeling like the weapons and the guns, the way they all feel. I think this game just tackles the ideology of immersion really well. There's something about the way that Arc Raiders immerses you. It almost scratches an itch that's hard to find. Like, I think the looter shooter aspect of it really scratches an itch. Like, for example, there's a gun called the Anvil, which is like a hand cannon. And, you know, as the space cowboy that I am myself, let's be honest, that's the one thing I'm looking for in pretty much any game. So, I got the blueprint, which basically means, like, I could craft one now. So, like, if I die and lose one, I could, like, spend some materials and, like, make another one now, which is, like, yo. But I swear to God, and Destiny fans, y'all will know what I mean about this. Like, the day that I got the Anvil blueprint, I jumped out of my chair. I freaked out. It was embarrassing as fuck. But like, I swear to God, the closest feeling that I've ever had to that feeling was the first time I got Galahorn in Destiny 1. And like, y'all will know what I mean by that, but it was like, it's basically like something that like so rare, so esteemed, so like, oh my God, I need that type shit, that like, it makes you so excited. And like, I haven't had many games, make me feel that immersed and excited in that kind of faceted vein as this game has. And I think there's something really to be said about that. I think there's something fascinating, there's something unique, there's something, I don't know, fun. There's a fun factor to this game that I think really speaks to me and really speaks to what I like about this kind of space. And yeah, I think this Arc Raiders, what makes it so good is that it is a perfect entry point into the extraction shooter genre. It's my entry point. I did play Marathon as well, like the alpha and so on and so forth, but and I actually really did enjoy that game, which is, just for context, a different extraction shooter made by another company, not released yet, but they're doing like playtests and stuff like that, and that game really immersed me. That game was really great. This game, it didn't just immerse me, it stole my heart. Like it sucks you in a way that like is very tangible, really fun. And what's cool too is you can play with friends, you can play solo, you can kind of play it in a variety of different ways. It kind of caters to whatever vibe you're feeling. And I think one other aspect too that this game really, what makes this game so good is the idea of how the map design is part of its difficulty. And not many games do that. Like, all right, think about it. Most games you put it on the higher difficulty, right? What happens? The enemies get like harder to kill, you know. They're more spongy, you know, or like just like there's more enemies. It's like, all right, sick, cool, thanks, yep, yippee, and like it's fine, like that's cool. But this game, on the other hand, each of the different maps, they have like a little difficulty rating. And at first I was like, all right, you guys got more enemies, da 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 type shit. But no, it's the design. And I think the thing that makes each difficulty higher than another is that each map is designed, like the actual layout of the map is designed to be harder. Like the first map, Damn Battlegrounds, pretty chill. It's kind of a nice vibe. Like, I'm gonna go to Damn Battlegrounds. Got a lot of space, can hang out, can vibe. Most people are pretty friendly because it's like the starter map, so people like the vibes are pretty chill. But then you go to like the latest map, Stella Montis, which is like close quarters inside of a facility. Every room is like a choke point, and like everyone's just fucking like intense as fuck in there. Like all the enemies are way scarier just because like they can jump at you at any corner. The people I just feel like are generally more aggressive because it just like leans more into that because everyone's so like claustrophobic in each other's faces. So I think that adds like a really interesting dynamic. The fact that the design of the maps is part of what makes the difficulty increased, not just enemy density or health bar size. And I think that is part of one of the reasons why I think this game is so beautifully constructed. From a design perspective, which is like kind of where my bread and butter is as a designer, I really appreciate the idea of the amalgamation of disparate parts coming together and creating a cohesive whole. And I think Arc Raiders is a perfect example of a game that takes a variety of lessons, of ideas, of concepts, of things that make each different genre so fascinating and interesting, and also like benefit, like positive little like sprinklings of good things that we want out of each of those genres, and then and creates an amalgamation of each one of those in a way that feels unique to itself. I think Arc Raiders, best compliment I can give to it is that it feels like Arc Raiders, and I think that is why I genuinely in my heart believe that Arc Raiders is the evolution of what a looter shooter is, of what a looter genre in general is, because it takes the concept of what looter shooters are, which is do a thing, get loot for it, and continue to get better and better loot. And this adds realness, groundedness. It almost feels like my inner child's space western, just as a game, like as a literal game, because at any point anyone could turn on you. At any point you could turn the corner and something could be very unexpected. Like you can go and do this whole amazing quest and then you're like, all right, now I gotta get out. How the fuck am I gonna do that? There's like a queen in my way, there's this in my way, there are 3 dudes shooting at me even though I told them, yo dog, please be my friend, and they're like, nah, fuck you bitch. And like that kind of shit is just like so interesting. It's so fascinating. Like, and I love the social experiment aspect of it. I've been watching clips a lot of just like people just doing the weirdest, silliest shit to each other, or like, I swear to God, people become like AAA voice actors through this fucking game. Like, it just brings something out of them. Like, the level of immersion that I think this game provides for people who play it, who get into it, who go further into it, is part of why this is the game to push this genre into the forefront of the gaming space. As much as Escape Photographer was great, it was only on PC, and it was incredibly hardcore, incredibly unforgiving. Arc Raiders has crafting. It has some things inside of their systems that is designed, even like having a smaller inventory is kind of designed for you to like, all right, well, I should probably use my loot, you know, like it incentivizes you to be a part of that cycle, and it makes feeling like dying or losing things a lot more forgiving, I would say. So all in all, long way of saying, I think Arc Raiders is one of, if not the best, iterations on the looter shooter genre as a whole. And as a fan myself of the space, of the universe, of that kind of product, that kind of game, I think it's really broadened my eyes, broadened my perspective of what an extraction shooter is and why games like that even exist, and how they can start to become more and more part of the zeitgeist of conversation within the gaming space. And I think it takes a game like this to have such authenticity to themselves, to what they're trying to do, and to the community and the space that they create for people who are willing to dive into it, is exactly what this kind of genre needed. In fact, extraction shooters are better off now because of Arc Raiders, and I think that speaks for itself. So yeah, this has been usyaps. This is my first one, so like, I mean, shit, I'm totally fucking winging it right now. I didn't even bring on like a script or anything like that, so like, I'm so sorry if you're just like, why the fuck did I just sit here watching this man yap for X amount of time? But like, also, I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, there's probably gonna be a lot more of these, because shit, I got a lot of shit to yap about. So like, I got honestly like a weird variety of genres too. So it won't just be gaming. I don't even know. Like, if you're one of my close friends, you already know I got something I'm feeling real passionate about, usually at all times. So yeah, if you like this, feel free to like and subscribe, and I don't know. Tell me what your favorite video game of all time is in the comments. Yeah. Anyway, it's been pretty real. I'm Usman, and yeah, peace.